I still remember the day she came to me with tears in her eyes. My daughter, Amanda. She stood in the kitchen doorway, her makeup smudged, pretending to tremble. "Mom," she whispered, "I need help. It's an emergency." I put down my teacup, instantly worried. What happened? She hesitated. "It's medical bills. Mark lost his job." "We're drowning." My chest tightened. I was 68, retired, living on a modest pension after losing my husband, Michael, 2 years earlier. Amanda was my only child. I would have given her anything, and she knew it. I offered her my savings account, what little I had. But she shook her head. "No, Mom, I don't want your money. It's just your wedding ring. You never wear it anymore. Maybe I can sell it, just until things get better." "I'll buy it back." Her words stabbed gently, because she was right. I hadn't worn that ring since the funeral. Every time I saw it, I saw him. I sighed and went to my jewelry box. The gold band still gleamed under the lamplight, its diamond tiny but full of memories. The day he gave it to me, he couldn't afford much, but he said, "It's not the price that matters, it's the promise." I held it one last time, kissed it, and handed it to her. "Promise me, Amanda. You'll bring it back." "I promise, Mom," she said, smiling through fake tears. That night, I sat awake by the window. Something inside me didn't feel right. Mothers know. We always know. 2 months later, the truth came crashing down. It was a Sunday morning. My neighbor Linda called me for brunch. "Come see the girls," she said, meaning Amanda and her friends who were hosting a small get-together nearby. I arrived quietly, bringing a pie. Amanda didn't expect me. She was sitting at the table laughing, wearing a new outfit, gold bracelet, and around her neck, a glittering diamond necklace. "Mom," she stammered when she saw me. "You didn't tell me you were coming." I smiled. "Surprise," Linda complimented the necklace. "Beautiful piece. Must have cost a fortune," Amanda flushed. "Oh, it's fake, but I knew that shine. Real diamonds catch light differently. And I had seen that exact style in a catalog, a $12,000 piece." I said nothing. I just watched her lie to everyone, the same way she had lied to me. Later, when she drove me home, she was quiet. Then she snapped, "Why did you come?" "You embarrassed me." I looked out the window. "I was just happy to see you smiling." "It's been a long time." She said nothing. But that night, I cried. Not because of the ring, but because my daughter had traded her soul for glitter. And what she didn't know was that she had sold the wrong ring. Part 2. The Revelation. 2 nights after that Sunday brunch, I couldn't sleep. The image of that diamond necklace kept flashing in my mind, the way it sparkled, the way Amanda touched it like a trophy. I got up, made tea, and walked to the old chest in my bedroom. It was full of Michael's belongings, letters, his cufflinks, our wedding photo. Beneath it all, a small velvet pouch. I opened it and smiled. There it was, my real wedding ring. The one Amanda sold? A fake. Years ago, Michael had convinced me to make a replica. "You're too careless with jewelry," he'd teased. "Keep the real one in the bank and wear this one daily." He was right. I had the original locked away for safekeeping. When Amanda begged for it that day, I hesitated, then gave her the copy. Maybe deep down, I knew she'd sell it. Maybe a mother's instinct never lies. Still, my chest burned. Not because she tried to deceive me, but because she believed I'd never notice. The next morning, I went to the bank. The clerk recognized me immediately. "Mrs. Lawson," he said with a kind smile. "Retrieving the box today?" I nodded. Inside the deposit box lay the small white envelope labeled in my husband's handwriting. "For Claire, our promise." I opened it. The original ring still shone like new, the engraving inside perfectly clear. Forever means choice. That inscription had always puzzled me, but now it made sense. Forever isn't about words. It's about who you choose to stay loyal to, and Amanda had made her choice. When I got home, I called her. "Amanda, sweetheart," I said softly, "I found some of Dad's old papers. Do you want to come by? There's something I want to give you." She hesitated. "I'm busy this week, Mom. Maybe next weekend?" Her tone was sharp, impatient. I smiled to myself. "Of course, darling." Next weekend, the next few days, I started preparing. I opened an old email account, the one Michael and I had once used for financial updates about the factory shares we'd owned. I checked the balance of the trust he'd left behind, The one Amanda didn't even know existed. $500,000, untouched. He had left it in my name for future family emergencies. Well, the emergency had arrived, just not the kind he'd imagined. I called our lawyer, Mr. Turner. I want to make some updates to my will, I said calmly. He asked if everything was all right. I told him it was, for now. By Thursday, everything was ready. I didn't confront Amanda. Not yet. I wanted her to feel secure, to think her lies had worked. That weekend, she came over, all smiles, pretending everything was fine. She brought a bottle of wine and said, "Sorry I've been busy, Mom. Work's been crazy." I looked her straight in the eye. "It's all right, darling. Life gets busy. Sit down. I made your favorite soup." She started eating, chatting about meaningless things, vacations, her new car, how she'd been invited to a luxury retreat through her husband's company. Every word twisted the knife deeper. Then I said it. "You know, Amanda, I found my old wedding ring box the other day. The one you took." She froze. Her spoon hovered midair. "Oh, you did?" "Yes," I said softly. "Funny thing. It was empty." She looked pale. "Mom, I told you it was an emergency. I'll buy it back, I swear." I smiled faintly. "Of course, darling. I believe you." She exhaled in relief. And that was the moment I knew. She truly thought she'd gotten away with it. That night, after she left, I took the real ring from its box and placed it on the windowsill. Moonlight caught it perfectly. For 40 years, that ring had symbolized love, trust, and loyalty. Now it symbolized something else. Justice. The next morning, I called Mr. Turner again. "I'd like to finalize those changes," I said. He confirmed the new documents were ready for signing. As I hung up, I whispered to the empty room. She wanted to sell my memories for cash. Now let's see what she does when money's no longer in reach. Part 3, the Thanksgiving table. Thanksgiving came faster than I expected. The house smelled of roasted turkey and cinnamon again, just like when Michael was alive. I'd invited Amanda and her husband, Greg, along with a few old family friends. Everyone thought I was just an aging widow trying to keep family traditions alive. But this time, I had a plan. Amanda arrived wearing that same diamond necklace, the one she bought with my emergency money. It sparkled like gilt around her neck. "Mom, everything looks amazing," she said, kissing my cheek. Her voice was sugar, but her eyes, restless, watching, calculating. I smiled. "Thank you, dear. Sit, please. I've got a surprise for everyone after dinner." She raised an eyebrow. "A surprise?" "Oh, yes," I said softly. "Something very close to my heart." The meal went on like any other. Laughter, stories, the clinking of silverware. Amanda was charming, loud, the center of attention. She told stories about her new house, her husband's promotion, how hard it was managing a busy life. Not a single word about the ring. When dessert came, I poured wine for everyone, except myself. Then I took out a small velvet pouch from my cardigan pocket. Amanda's laughter died. I placed it on the table, right beside the pumpkin pie. "This," I said calmly, "is my wedding ring. The real one." The room went silent. You could hear the clock ticking on the wall. Her husband, Greg, frowned. "Wait, I thought you said you sold that months ago?" Amanda's hand trembled. "Mom, what are you doing?" I looked straight at her. "You sold a fake one, Amanda. The real ring was never yours to sell." The blood drained from her face. What are you talking about?" I took a slow sip of water. "The ring your father gave me. It was kept safe in the bank. I had a copy made years ago." "The one you took wasn't real," whispers rippled across the table. Her friends looked at her with disbelief. Greg's eyes narrowed. "Amanda, did you really sell your mother's ring?" Tears welled up in her eyes. I told you it was for bills. I didn't know." I cut her off gently. "You knew exactly what you were doing." "You lied to me, Amanda. You looked me in the eyes and said it was for an emergency." Her voice cracked. "Mom, please, don't do this here." "Oh, but this is the perfect place," I said quietly. "Because family deserves to know the truth. You see, this ring wasn't just gold and stone. It was the last piece of your father's promise." Amanda started crying, covering her face with her hands. "I'm sorry, Mom, I messed up, okay? I'll make it right." I tilted my head. "Make it right? How, dear? By buying it back from the pawn shop?" Or by wearing that necklace you bought with the money? Everyone turned to her necklace. She instinctively reached for it, her fingers trembling. Greg looked furious now. You used your mother's ring money for that? She didn't answer, just sobbed quietly, mascara streaking down her cheeks. I stood slowly, feeling strangely calm. This dinner isn't about humiliation, Amanda. It's about truth. Because your father built this family on honesty, not greed. I looked at the ring in my hand, then slipped it onto my finger. It fit perfectly, as if it had been waiting for this moment. You took something that wasn't yours, I said softly. But you know what hurts most? It's not the ring. It's realizing my daughter thought I wouldn't notice. She looked up, desperate. Mom, please. I didn't mean to. I needed help. I nodded slowly. You did. But instead of asking for help, you chose deceit. And now I've made my own choice too. Greg looked confused. What choice? I smiled faintly. I've updated my will. Amanda's sobbing stopped instantly. Her head shot up. Mom, what? Yes, I said softly. I met with Mr. Turner last week. Everything your father left me, the trust, the stocks, the estate, it's been reassigned. Her lip trembled. To who? I leaned forward. To charity. And to the workers' fund your father started. The people who actually needed help. The silence that followed was deafening. Amanda's fork slipped from her hand and clattered against her plate. Mom, you can't do that. That's my inheritance. I looked her in the eyes, the same blue eyes she got from me. No, sweetheart, I said gently. That was your father's gift. You lost it the moment you sold your mother's ring. She broke down completely, sobbing into her hands. Greg just stared, stunned and speechless. I turned to the guests, forcing a small smile. Dessert, anyone? No one spoke. Only the sound of Amanda's crying filled the room. Quiet, bitter, and broken. And for the first time in years, I felt peace. Part 4, the final letter. Week passed after that Thanksgiving dinner. The house was quiet again, too quiet I could. Still hear Amanda's sobs echoing in the dining room, whenever I closed my eyes. But guilt wasn't my goal understanding. Was I spent those days in peace, reading, watering my plants, polishing the ring, the real one. It wasn't just jewelry anymore. It had become a reminder of everything that truly mattered. Love, trust, and dignity. Then one afternoon, I got a knock on the door. It was Amanda, eyes swollen, face pale, holding a letter. Mom, she whispered, voice breaking. I didn't know where else to go. I stepped aside without a word. She walked in slowly, clutching that paper like a lifeline. She looked smaller than I'd ever seen her, fragile. Stripped of all that arrogance and noise, she sat down, twisting her fingers nervously. Greg left, she said softly. After Thanksgiving. He said he can't be with someone who lies to her own mother. I said nothing. Just listened, she continued, tears spilling down her cheeks. I pawned the necklace, Mom. I used the money to pay back what I took. I'm sorry. I know it doesn't fix everything, but I just want you to forgive me. I looked at her for a long moment. Then I reached for my teacup, took a small sip, and asked quietly, Do you remember what your father used to say about forgiveness? She shook her head. I smiled faintly. He said forgiveness isn't a door you walk through. It's a window you have to climb, and sometimes you fall before you make it. Her eyes filled again. I fell, Mom. I fell hard. I know, I said softly. And I caught you once. I can't keep catching you if you keep jumping. She covered her face, shoulders shaking. I know, I ruined everything. I don't even deserve to be your daughter. I reached out, touched her hand gently. You are my daughter. That will never change. But love doesn't erase consequences. It only teaches us how to live with them. She looked up, confused. What do you mean? I pointed to the letter she was holding. What's that? She swallowed hard. It's from the lawyer. I heard about the will. I just wanted to ask if maybe. I raised a hand to stop her. Amanda, I said softly. This was never about money. It was about respect. About the ring, the symbol of what your father and I built together. You didn't just sell gold. You sold trust. Her lips trembled. Then why let me in today? I smiled gently. Because your father would have. And because love, no matter how hurt it gets, always leaves a light on. She broke down again, whispering, "I'll earn it back, Mom. I promise." "I'll make you proud," I nodded. "Maybe one day you will." She stood up to leave, wiping her tears, but as she reached the door, I said quietly, "Wait." She turned. I handed her a small, sealed envelope, the same kind I'd used for my will updates. "This is for you," I said. "Don't open it until you get home." She hesitated, then nodded, and walked out into the cold afternoon light. When the door closed behind her, I felt that same mix of sadness and relief, the ache only a mother knows when she teaches her child a painful truth. That evening, as the sun went down, I imagined her sitting in her car, opening the envelope. Inside, she'd find a check, not a fortune, but enough to start again, and a note written in my hand. "Amanda, the ring you sold wasn't real. The money you stole, I no longer need. What I do need is to know you've learned the value of something money can't buy. If you ever want to find your way home again, start with honesty. Mom." Weeks later, I got a postcard from her. No money, no gifts, just words. "Mom, I found a job at a community shelter. They needed someone who understands broken people. I think I finally do. I love you. Amanda." I smiled. The real revenge was never the humiliation or the will or the fake ring. It was showing her that truth always wins, quietly, patiently, without cruelty. I looked down at the ring on my finger, the gold warm under the lamp's light. "Michael," I whispered, "we did it." She finally understood. Outside, the wind brushed against the window, soft and forgiving. For the first time in years, my heart felt light. Because sometimes, revenge isn't about destroying someone. It's about rebuilding what they forgot, one broken piece at a time. And that night, I slept peacefully, wearing the same ring my husband gave me.